I think only mid lane is probably the one that you can completely try to ban out, but even then it's not usually beneficial because if one team starts banning mids a lot, then the other one will can get a good matchup for it. Yeah. So I think one mid ban on blue side is pretty common. I'm happy to see the Ryze ban.
Now Mickey, I'm looking at you here because Team Vitality seem to be target banning Wadid. Having played against Wadid, do you feel that he's less comfortable on range supports, and that could be the direction that Vitality are trying to force him on?
I'm not really sure about that. I think he played Ornn before and Rakan when it came out, so I think his champion pool is big enough. So I think it's interesting that they're going for the support bans here, and interested to see what they're gonna do with it.
Yeah, Wadid does have a pretty broad champion pool even so far. Also, Janna, Tarek, Thresh in the mix, but they might be wanting to aim for a certain bottom lane combination that they want out. We will see. And there, the first lock-in is the Gangplank is a contested one for all top laners, but especially between Cabochard and Wunder.
Now this I find quite interesting because typically, as we talked about earlier, you would usually try and see an early focus on mid lane. Both the Zoe and a Azir are available. Do either of you guys have any impressions as to why G2 wouldn't want to lock in something like a Zoe for PerkZ?
I think they're probably just comfortable trading both of those picks because they both offer pretty strong ideals. Also, with that said, Galio's open and he's a really strong pick right now. So I think Gangplank's just like probably one of the strongest, if not the strongest top laner you can get.
And Kalista got through. She gets banned very often, so I didn't see that one coming. Mickey, are you surprised that Minitroupax gets his hands on that?
No, not really. Kalista is like a pretty strong pick right now, so I think...
Oh, I mean that she was left open.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was.
So, given her current strength, what do you think the safest thing to pick into a Kalista right now?
Yeah, Alistar is one answer to Kalista. I think most people would go for Alistar against her because she can't really jump out of your combo. So yeah, Tristana Alistar is usually the case.
And a good combo. Which support would you like to see paired in that bottom lane, Mickey, with Kalista?
Probably Tarek or something like that. So Tarek like kind of disables the all-in potential of Alistar Trist because of his, if he goes Guardian and all the shielding and healing when he auto-attacks with his passive. So I think either that or something like a Morgana.
We'll see what happens. Yeah, it could be that they lock in the Zoe here, and that's obviously smart because now they can ban out some more mid laners in the second phase. So PerkZ will have to think what he wants to play against that specifically and what gets banned out.
Yeah, because you're now looking at an opportunity for Vitality to limit even further the mid lane pool. And we've seen multiple times that Jiizuke is more than happy to play the Zoe into the very well-known Azir often matchup. So now you move into the second phase. I'm looking at both top has been matched, mid hasn't been. So do you think for Vitality they just focus on mid lane bans for now?
I think they have to go for mid lane bans, and I'm curious to see what PerkZ pulls out against Zoe because it's unusual to see mid go this late unless unless you've got a certain strategy prepared for it. With that said, G2 also has, it seems like they might end up with two lanes that don't have priority on either side lane, and so not only will they have to find a mid pick that can help with that in early game, but they'll also have to try to get some priority to help their jungler out.
Yeah, I presume Azir is still open. That could still be picked. I would expect Team Vitality to ban it out. No, they ban out the LeBlanc instead, so they're not particularly scared, it seems, of the Azir. And it looks like Team Vitality just wants a jungle counter pick, man. They just want Gilius to do great versus Jankos.
They could very well be stalling out for something like a Jax pick for the side of Vitality, but when you have a Kalista, I noticed that Vitality have Engage. Do you think that right now Engage is something that they're trying to lock in, or what do you think Vitality is missing from their comp?
Yeah, probably Engage is what they need, even though they have Kalista ult, and yeah, I guess Sejuani would be the best here.
There we go.
I think G2 might go for Kassadin here. I think he's the only mid laner that's pretty decent into Zoe.
I mean, he could take a bit of a gamble and go for something like a Fizz, but extremely high risk.
I mean, if he wants to make a statement in this big matchup, then he definitely could. But it's not PerkZ's style to go for that.
I suspect G2 will go for, if they go for Kassadin, they'll probably need a jungler that has fast clear, because otherwise it could be hard for G2 to get through early game, given Vitality has a fast jungler and lanes of priority.
Yeah, because right now they're drafting themselves in a way that we've seen multiple times that Zach doesn't trade very well early on if he gets invaded upon, so you need strong laners to help support him. You talked very early on about the Galio, and we completely forgot about the mid lane matchup.
Yeah, you guys love running it as well, so...
Yeah. But I wasn't really expecting PerkZ to play it, because I wasn't really in his champion pool for a while, I think.
So what's then the point of the Galio in this comp?
He's gonna try to follow up on Zac or Alistar Engage, and I think he should give priority against Zoe.
He also can help protect Gangplank against any early dives, and if Gangplank is a no threat of an early dive, then he just scales for free, basically.
All right, we got the Morgana lock-in on the other side. So I ask you guys for predictions. It was 3 times G2 eSports before. Mickey, what do you think about this Morgana pick? And will it make you change your vote from G2 to Vitality?
Yeah, I think Morgana is the only support that's left, basically, to kind of counter what G2 has. Like Zac, it's pretty good against Zac, Galio, and Alistar. So yeah, it was kind of expected pick, and I'm still going to go for G2.
Still G2. Vedius, what do you think about the comps up against versus
I mean, I'm looking at this G2 draft, and I see heavy team fight, and the only thing that confuses me a little bit for this Vitality roster is how they plan to make Zoe work in such a hard engage comp, because she's really good at harassing you from a long distance and kind of poke and pick, but when you have such hard engage and reliable follow-up in the form of Galio and Gangplank, I'm a little concerned for Vitality as to how they're going to be able to stall and stop G2 from forcing a lot of these mid-game fights.
Sounds like you also don't want to change your vote. Still with G2. Hussein, what do you think?
I'll be with G2 as well, but I do think Vitality has a lot of tools in the early game to win this game, and I think this game is going to be mostly on execution between the two teams.
All right, we'll see what happens. We are 30 seconds away from G2 Esports versus Team Vitality. If one lane is going to make the difference, if one player is going to make the difference, who would it be, Vedius?
Well, for me, I feel like the bot lane for Vitality has to get a lead on Kalista, otherwise she's going to get outscaled, and she needs to have that early pressure that Vitality can use to take the early lead that Hussein was identifying.
Well, a lot of exciting matchups. I'm especially looking forward to that mid lane matchup of Jiizuke versus PerkZ, as well as Jankos versus Gilius in the jungle. It is time to kick off our match of the week in the Spring Split with Drakos and Deficio.
Thank you, Shocks. This is it, Deficio. We've been waiting. No more middle of the pack. No more bottom of the table. Best of the best hitting the rift right now. The analyst desk may be stacked against them, but Vitality are still 7-1. Vitality have still beaten every team but G2 and Misfits. And they can look to knock one of those names off the list tonight.
Both teams coming in with a 4-game win streak. So, top form, 100%. Vitality gets Kalista for Minitroupax early on in the EU LCS. They gave it over to Schalke. And they were like, we don't care, we can play against it. But now Minitroupax finally gets to play it on his side. And we have to see him and Jacktroll with this Morgana counter pick against the Alistar can do something on the bottom side. But everyone keeps talking about the mid laners. And Jiizuke on this Zoe, he's made so many big plays already. I'm looking for more.
And normally I would say, oh, Galio. Vitality, why did you ban the LeBlanc? Why did you deprive us of another Zoe versus LeBlanc matchup? But Galio's all about that AP. We've seen what this champion can do.
All right, Vitality setting up for potentially an early invade on the red buff. Gilius talked a lot of smack against Jankos, saying Jankos was one of the worst performing junglers in the EU LCS this split. They're coming in now.
They have a Morgana binding as well. Now they know something's wrong. Sleepy Trouble Bubble, level 1. Wadid gonna get knocked up yet again. Tries to buy a bit of time with the CC. Is he gonna be able to make it out? Yes, so many resources committed. Wadid gonna make it out in the end. Vitality taking a big risk here on this steal.
Yeah, they want the early advantage in favor of Gilius, but PerkZ got to push his lane, while Jiizuke was busy chasing a kill they didn't get. He lost a lot of experience in that mid lane. PerkZ will hit level 2 very soon.
Good news is he has the minion dematerializer. He can try to get back some of the wave pressure. And of course, as is the standard for Vitality, big words of confidence, leaps forward, more than happy to block that up onto PerkZ, looking for 3 and 4 stacks, only gonna find 3. We'll back off, but aggression as expected from this Vitality lineup.
Yeah, they knew they couldn't get the kill right there. Jiizuke only had one with the bubble on his side, so it was more just get a bit of poke, and Gilius wanted to go top side. Is he looking to invade this blue buff already? It would be risky because top lane is pushing against Vitality, and instead, he's looking for a very early second gank of the game. Gilius, he's active.
For more. Wunder is level 3. Should have the oranges to get himself out, but that's a lot of CC available. Buying a bit of time. Wallop, where's it going to be? Not going to look for the follow-up. Wunder is going to burn the flash, however. Gilius taking flashes left and right.
Cabochard only level 2. Could not do anything else right there. Gilius, super active. Start, invade, red buff. Take that away from Jankos. Then gank mid, gank top. Just managed to get 1 flash. Meanwhile, doing that level 1, of course, Wadid's flash was used as well, while it was only exhaust on the side of Jacktroll.
And now there's a pause, Deficio.
Dramatic pause.
A dramatic one. And why is it dramatic, Deficio? Because early game is important. Also because there's an actual pause. But it's time to talk a little bit about the compositions, because we have a bit of time now. And we'll keep you guys updated as to what the issue is and as to the steps that are being taken to resolve it. But Morgana Kalista, Deficio, this is a lane I want to talk about, because this is a lane we do not see very often. It's been a long time since Morgana has been meta. This is not exactly a pick I expected to come through in the draft phase.
Well, we did have a lot of support bans. Obviously, Braum, Tom Kent were banned in the first phase by Vitality. Then Thresh Taric was banned in the second phase by G2. And what Vitality needed was a pick that could prevent Alistar Tristana from just comboing onto a Kalista and get CC apply to her and just kill her. So Morgana Black Shield can, of course, stop the Alistar combo from locking her down, and she can stay safe. And what you can do as an Alistar, which is always interesting, is if you can walk forward in lane, it's very hard for the Morgana to 100% predict who you're going to engage on. And if she's ready to Black Shield AD carry, and you then turn to the support, there are still openings for the Alistar to find and engage just on the Morgana herself. But she's there with the Black Shield to stop this all-in from happening, so Minitroupax won't die.
As an update is Jiizuke with the pause. We'll keep you guys updated as we go forward. But it's interesting, too, because you feel like if the headbutt pull combo comes through, super easy to Black Shield, super easy to play responsive, right? But if it's just a flash pull, if Alistar just goes for that snap, instant kind of engage, very difficult for Jacktroll to respond in time. And all it takes is one missed Black Shield for this entire lane to fall apart.
Also, I have to remember, Alistar does bring a second stun. Like, when he goes in, WQ combo, applies his E, you can turn that over to the guy without the Black Shield if you haven't broken it yet. It just requires Jacktroll and Minitroupax to not stand next to each other almost at all in this lane, because you also can't afford to get double combo, but two members get knocked up. So there's a lot of skill to it on the bottom side. It's not just Black Shield you AD carry 24/7.
And I want to see what exactly the next steps are, what exactly they want to do, because, of course, Gilius has been on the ganking train, just now moving back to his red buff, going to be approaching level 3. But Jankos is so far ahead in terms of this early jungle clear. Can he actually use this level advantage to punish? Can he get maybe an early level 6 to kind of force and engage?
I mean, we know for Jankos that it's okay to just farm. He doesn't actually have to do much.
All right. Now, in the heat of the game, it appears that Jiizuke thought that there was a visual bug and that a cannon minion disappeared, but there was not a cannon minion wave.
See, everyone...
But guys, he's playing against PerkZ. You know what I'm saying? This is high pressure.
I just want to say, sometimes we have pauses in EU LCS that are not related to the PCs or the production. We have some players who can be a little bit happy on, you know, ready to pause at any given moment. Could be the wrong keyboard, could be a mouse that's breaking, could be a minion that disappeared that wasn't even there in the first place. This was on Jiizuke. I respect him for pausing and saying, wait, what happened there? But everything is fine, guys. We're back.
Gilius is still level 2. Bit unfortunate, but luckily for him, Jankos is quite low. Now, before we went to the pause, in this absolute bloodbath of a game, in the sense that people are trying to kill each other, not in the sense that anyone's actually died, I want to talk about the early games. Deficio, early games are important. Both these teams get big leads early on.
Oh,
well played there. But in slightly different fashions. You can see CS for G2, huge, big factor. Not as big for Vitality, though. They're a little bit different in terms of what they grab in the early game.
Yeah, a lot more about getting towers down and kills for the Vitality lineup, but especially the fact they're playing so aggressive around tier 1 towers often means that after winning a fight from a gank or something, they get a turret, they move on to the next one, and they quickly get a big goal lead because of it. Where again, as you highlighted, G2, it's a ton of farming. It's a lot of Gangplank they like to play. So Wunder sits top lane, gets a giant goal lead for himself as well. He's doing the same with the Gangplank in this game. And I want to point out one thing he did. He went Dematerializer on GP. That's because the Gnar typically gets the push in this top lane, and he wants to try and counter that a little bit, get a bit more wave clear, actually being able to shove back early on with the Dematerializer, and try and prevent Cabochard from going mid. Because one of the big things for Vitality and how they get early advantages is also by moving mid lane. They love to send the jungler, send the support, send the top laner mid, and give Jiizuke an early advantage. Cabo can do it on an R in this matchup, so Vitality might get control on top side, and Wunder is trying to prevent that from happening.
PerkZ, of course, with the early Catalyst means he will be a little bit tankier, but still so vulnerable to those type of engages. And Zoe has such easy setup. Gilius has such easy follow-up. You do need to make sure that that is not a possibility. But we look across the map, it's not just top lane or Vitality have pressure. Bot lane as well. Starting to be a bit of a back and forth as Minitroupax has backed off, but you can see generally the pressure was in their favor. Jacktroll being the ultimate support player, trying to hold the wave for his team. Jacuzzi.
Americans!
Is that... I feel like that's culturally insensitive. All right. Get ready to bear witness, Zyrene. Two of the best mid laners in Europe. And to all of you watching at home. But for now, we watch a Gangplank farm, Deficio. Truly one of the most thrilling activities of all time. Not League of Legends, but a barrel-based minigame.
Well, we also watch Gilius hunting for Jankos. He wants to win this jungle matchup so bad because when you talk that much smack, then you gotta deliver every single time. And he's taking down every team in Europe except for Misfits and except for G2 eSports. I think he'll be okay ending the first half of the split, only losing to one team and beating everyone else, including the 4-time LCS champion. This is a very big game for Vitality. I saw them before the game. So insanely motivated. No one was laughing. It was just like dead serious, getting ready to go in here and see if they can win another game. The 5th game in a row then for them.
Well, Infernal Drake is definitely going to help that. Kalista happy to have it, as well as the Zoe and the Gnar.
This is one of the things we want to see when people pick Kalista and then get a range support, try and counter the Alistar. You control the bottom side, you move Kalista to early objectives like a Drake here. Vitality controlling that bottom side very well in terms of vision, control wards in the river, and they get rewarded for it. Smart play on Vitality's side.
Oh, Gilius though. Maybe overstays welcome. Aftershock is going to proc. PerkZ not going to be able to find the follow-up, but Gilius very ambitious. Did not have a mid laner there when he looked for the invade.
And there was a great quote from Febiven when he did an interview that was on Reddit, where he said, European junglers tend to be more aggressive and looking for fights. And the main reason, it's all the banter. It's the rivalry. Oh, you want to kill Gilius so badly if you're Jankos in this jungle matchup. Looking for it right there.
That's... I was expecting like a deep analytical reason, like they're trying to capitalize on the wave pressure.
Sometimes
blah, blah, blah.
I mean, this...
They want to kill people because they want to disrespect them and make it clear who's #1.
This has been a matchup where for over a week we've had non-stop banter between the teams. So much trash talk. Everyone is kind of taunting each other. And now they have to deliver on stage.
And I feel like when we look across the map, top lane is still something that we always want to look at because Cabo has been very fortunate. He's had some great games. He's had a lot of games where the team has supported him, but he's still a little bit of a question mark here and there. On the other side, Wunder has been so brutally consistent for G2. And I say brutal because every single game ends with him shooting a GP barrel and two-shotting an AD carry.
Yeah. Wunder has been, for sure, one of the absolute best top lanes in Europe this split. Let's see what we find here. Cabo, he's mad.
Nice chains up on the CC. Will turn mini in a moment. This is going to be perfect for diving the tower. No stopwatch in this one. Is he going to run forward? The flash, he does have it! Oh, my miscall means Wunder's saved life.
Gets a flash as well right there from Cabochard. Had, of course, to use the stopwatch forward. Good trade from the Gnar. This is game number 7 out of 9 games where Cabochard gets to pick after he's already seen the enemy top laner. Has the option to always try and counterpick these different matchups. And with the Gnar here, applying a lot of early pressure. As we talked about, Gnar does get to push in early. Gank mid.
Oh, Jiizuke potentially in trouble, but does have the redemption. He's going to be able to heal up a little bit, trying to make his way out of that.
Oh,
flash back in. Well played by Jankos.
Wait, PerkZ didn't flash?
Are they going to be able to find the follow-up damage? Does not look like it. Drowsy could be in trouble. PerkZ happy to body block.
I think PerkZ should have gone for that kill right there. But Jiizuke, after actually using flash, got stunned, had TP, so couldn't have gotten out easily.
Oh, threatened it right through the minions. Not going to find any follow-up, though. Bot lane just pushing forward, just playing aggressive here. Wadid just now going to be able to get level 6. Now they're going to have to play with a bit more respect on the side of Vitality. But action everywhere, Deficio. Every single lane ready to look for these outplays.
So far it's even. Right now it's on Vitality to look for the early advantage. Now winning top side, Kalista Morgana winning bot side. They have to, of course, respect that PerkZ can join in a side lane in case they're going all in, but Jacktroll looking for another one, missed this one. Took a bit of damage in return. Still waiting for the junglers to find the first kill of the game. Gilius is down a level. Jiizuke keeps the control wards in his river here, so bottom side has been in Vitality's favor all game long. It's hard for G2 to contest it, because if they walk into the river, there's a high chance Minitroupax and Jacktroll can leave bot lane first and join this fight and forcing G2 out. And that's why they have to be very, very scared on the bottom side. But at least then PerkZ can switch to top, because it's very rare a team gets control of both sides. He's actually setting up for a potential ult.
You can see him standing still, checking the ult range, ready to go in.
I think that they're pinging, the thing you see on the minimap is they're pinging the lane swap. They're saying there is a chance they're coming top. Careful, don't go all in, Wunder. But now they see Kalista bot lane, so they know there was no lane swap. It was not just random pinging because someone was annoyed at his teammate. It was actually because there could have been a lane swap.
And good heads up. We've seen Vitality with some very clever lane swaps help them come back against Schalke. We've seen Giants be a big proprietor of that as well. But G2 see a potential coming, play around it. Doesn't happen in the end, but now Jankos starting to put some mid lane pressure down, starting to look for more control of this area. Ocean Drake's still 2 minutes out.
But look, it's Vitality's bot lane moving first. They're already around mid lane, so all these control wards just placed by G2 to get bot control, they're gone. They're gonna die.
Ooh, nice sidestep, good patience.
You're never gonna hit a good player with that. As Sven put it back last year.
Nidalee spear.
On the stream, as long as you have a mouse, you can dodge a binding like that or a Nidalee spear.
Fatter hitbox, but slower projectile speed, so similar concept. Jiizuke, of course, with a bonus cleanse, going to be quite nice for the laning phase.
Good hit.
To poke out.
Jankos is trying again with Wadid this time to get some vision back. Both teams are fighting on the bottom side. Both respecting the two dual lanes and what they can do to force a play. Wadid might get caught up by Gilius.
Look for the chain CC. Jiizuke a little too eager though, gets pulled forward right back into PerkZ. They're gonna have a lot of damage there. He's gonna portal jump out, in, out, looking for the black shield. That's gonna be first blood. Fired back. Jacktroll looks for 1 CC. Cabo's here in the middle of the fight. Vitality opt to pull back in the end. Good pickup for G2.
Jiizuke lost that flash earlier when we had the gank from Jankos, and he knew that. Instantly went on to the Zoe. Didn't try and go for Gilius when he jumped in, and Vitality opted into a fight right there. They couldn't actually win, and they just gave up first blood, and it went over to the Galio.
Definitely not what you want. Giving PerkZ a kill in this landing phase, getting him closer to that defensive itemization.
Look at this play again. There are 3 members of G2 around, and Gilius, the moment he goes in, he's most likely calling Jiizuke. Let's try and get a bit of damage on this guy, but that actually ends up baiting Jiizuke. And when he walks down without the flash, there is no way out. Jankos, great engage from his side, and that is a very, very quick kill for G2, despite Vitality controlling the bottom side for most of this early game. G2 found an opening. A little bit too greedy from Vitality.
And exactly what they needed too. We talked about the mid lane being so very crucial. I mean, you can see why. Look at both of these guys. They've been playing so well, both Jiizuke and PerkZ. And you can see that beautiful man on your screen. These are his top MVP. It's
not the picture I requested, I will say. Get that graphic down.
You look so sad. Okay. There's an article. You can. I mean, I technically sent it to him, but it's so perfect.
Can we take the graphic down?
All right, but this is the important part, of course.
There
Those are
go.
2 MVP candidates. That's what you need to take away. If you want to see all 5 MVP candidates, you can see eu.lolesports.com. But you look at the mid laners, 90% kill participation 15, 87.5. These guys are in the middle of everything on their respective teams.
That's why they're number 1 and 2 of my current MVP candidates, if I had to decide right now, after we've seen 4 weeks and now the first day of week 5 as well. These 2 guys mean so much for the teams and how they want to play. A lot of it is around the mid lane. PerkZ, of course, the captain, the man who built this G2 lineup after 4 members left coming into this split. And with this 4-game win streak they're on, despite a rough start, they were down 1-3. They're moving closer and closer to that number 1 spot. That's where currently we have Vitality, and they're looking to keep that spot for as long as possible.
Definitely. 7-1. Kind of underestimated the start. Start strong, lose a game to Misfits. Not sure if they're going to keep it up, but they just keep finding wins. Even in unlikely scenarios, even in big deficits, they always find a creative way to get ahead. But on the side of G2, man, we've seen steady improvement across the weeks, and I honestly do not know who has the edge here.
And that's kind of the fun thing about these 2 teams. G2 are still the more controlled style. Vitality, they are very aggressive. We saw that play before that actually resulted in Jiizuke dying. They thought they'd get a bit of damage on Wadid without having flash in your mid laner, and that was a little bit too aggressive, but that's kind of what happens when you're always playing on the edge.
Cabochard again. Knock forward, looking for the chain CC, will lock him up again. Is going to get the reset on the boulder toss. Not going to connect the second time. Would have been a pretty easy dive if he could. Wunder, of course, with ultimate, though, may have been able to make it a 1-for-1.
And we really just, now we talked about aggressive play style. Like, we got to give so much respect to Vitality for entering EU LCS with 3 rookies. Gilius coming back to prove all the haters wrong. And then they go in and play like this the first few weeks, never afraid of forcing a fight. Oh, Jiizuke actually does get caught right there, but he's fine, he's fine.
Jankos goes to sleep right when he needs this auto attack to connect. Another sleepy trouble bubble. Maybe for a little bit more. PerkZ there to body block. Does not quite work out. Now reduced healing means Jankos will struggle for the next few moments to clear the jungle. Is going to have to back off. Pressure advantage once again to Vitality, but Deficio, this game is so close. There's no explosive leads. 2 dragons for Vitality, 1 kill for G2.
And PerkZ unable to kind of move from his mid lane and make a play. Top lane is getting pushed in, bot lane is getting pushed in. He's kind of waiting for Vitality to go for an aggressive tower dive, and then he ults in defensively, and he's the hero that saves the day. But Vitality are not doing that. They're just letting Cabochard push in Wunder and try and get a bit of damage on top tower. And bot lane, they've been happy just waiting for Drakes to spawn and then grab them. So right now, Vitality are not letting PerkZ use his ulti on the side lanes defensively, and instead are farming and just kind of trying to get the few objectives they can, mainly the Drakes. They do need a bit more damage on these turrets if they want to actually break open the game. Instead of G2, they're happy farming with his GP. Like, he's down in CS, but he's up 500 gold.
And Wunder's just such a rock on the top side of the map. And we wanted to know how this guy would perform. We've heard it from just about everybody. He is so insanely consistent. You can rely on this guy. He plays the GP. He is going to scale up. He is going to be clutch in those late game team fights.
Yeah, and I bumped into him before the game after I said Alfari was the best GP in Europe. And he was very disappointed because he believes he's the best GP in Europe. So I'm just going to say they are the 2 best Gangplanks.
Ah, I see.
I love all my top laners.
Your top laners.
They're all mine. And now they're equally good at playing GP.
It's not the EU LCS, it's the Deficio show.
Wait, my picture was on that graphic before.
I guess that's how we're deciding it now.
Yes.
So,
is your picture ever on the graphics?
Not always, no.
I don't believe
Sometimes my name is.
Yeah, it has to be a picture. I make up the rules.
I'm just asking graphics team if it's possible if you get a picture of my face on a lower third to balance this out. But in the meantime, match of the week, a lot of pressure on both sides. We talked about Wunder stepping up. I think Jankos has been improving as well. We did see last week, though, that the one kind of weakness on the side of G2 was Hjärnan and Wadid. They struggled a lot in the mid to late game in the matchup versus Schalke. But so far, things do look a little bit better. They are suffering in a losing lane matchup, but they're not losing any greater advantages.
But Vitality will soon get down this turret, and Jacktroll and Minitroupax will play very good.
Oh, now trying to look for the opportunity. The immediate flash out, no hesitation. Jacktroll getting pulled back. So many ultimates expended on both sides. The flash and the heal from Minitroupax, but no blood shed.
G2 waited and waited and waited before they could make that play. So there were Kalista ulti, there was Black Shields available. Nobody ends up dying, but 2 summoners used on the side of Jacktroll. Same for Wadid on his side. Jankos is around mid lane. Jiizuke will find him.
Sleepy Trouble Bubble does go in. Can't be disabled during the ult, so he will be able to make his way right back out. Spell Thief about to fall off, so Jiizuke just uses it for a little bit of extra damage. And BMs.
Oh, we have to highlight. On patch 8.3, Zoe received a massive nerf. At this point in the game where she has rank 5 Q, it is reduced by 0.25 seconds in cooldown. Truly
unplayable.
Truly giving a greater window to dodge her poke.
I mean, thank God they tuned her down, right? She was unstoppable. They brought her down a few notches. Not a problem anymore. PerkZ knew it. That's why I wasn't worried about it. He picked the Galio. Things are going fine.
Still a great pick, and that's why we get to see her and why Jiizuke can still try and carry this game. Meanwhile, Gilius and the rest of Vitality, they have top lane they're winning, their bot lane they're winning. The bot lane turret is down to about 45% HP. That is a go-to objective, and now Gilius is here.
Oh, Hjärnan stepped very far forward, but he has to be ready to block with his body. He is in position to do so.
Jankos on the way. GP ulti on cooldown, PerkZ's Galio ulti also on cooldown. So PerkZ would have to TP down if a fight happened. Soon these ultis are ready from GP and from Galio. So once again, guys, Vitality are playing it slow because there's so many globals they have to worry about. They can't just tower dive left and right against the Galio and the GP. So they just have to keep farming Drakes.
They have the Kalista there to secure this. This could be their 3rd dragon. What about the Elder Dragon? Another
good engage.
Nice sidestep. PerkZ, of course, does have the ultimate available now, with Black Shield going to block the majority of the CC a little bit more. Will connect. Hjärnan leaps in. PerkZ there for the cleanup. That's going to be 2. G2 with the explosive fight.
Great engage from Jankos on this Zac here. He did the same thing last week against Schalke. Keeps finding the backline. Good timing with PerkZ's ulti. And now the strategy from Vitality involving play safe on bottom side, secure Drakes. That just got punished by G2 Esports and Vitality. They don't have a lane at the moment. They want to play around aggressively at least. They can still try and look for top lane. But this bot lane tower against Tristana, it's gone.
And we go from Vitality and Control, taking small advantages, taking Drakes over and over again to G2 now getting not only a dragon back in their favor, but a 1K gold lead about to grow to 2 on the back of that tower first blood. We talked about this for the composition. Early advantages for Vitality, using the Kalista to the strength, but now Tristana is starting to get the ball rolling.
And playing against double TP, GP ult, Galio ult, it just makes it so hard to abuse your winning lane. This engage from Jankos, it's perfect. There's no flash from the Kalista. It was used before when we had the all-in from Wadid, and now that's an easy kill onto the 2 members of the bottom lane from Vitality, and Drake goes over to G2 Esports. Big swing in their favor, and once again, they're happy just scaling. They don't have to get ahead early game.
They have a Tristana. They have a Gangplank. You've got these 2 hyper-scaling, crit-based champions. Exactly what they want. So now it is Vitality on the back foot. They've already lost the tower. It looks like they're going to swap lanes to the top side. They're going to attempt to recover here, get a little bit back, make Wunder's life a little bit more uncomfortable. It's going to be difficult, though.
Gilius is still trying to look for an opening. He's 2 levels down against Jankos. Not only did we have the early start where Gilius tried to get some ganks off after stealing a red buff, we then also have 3 assists on the side of Jankos, who's just kind of been power farming whenever he wasn't needed in the lanes. And Vitality trying to still look to play around this, but Jankos.
All just coming in. This is going to be an easy pickup. Minitroupax caught shopping. Immediately taken down by G2. Exactly what the team wanted.
Stood on a ward, tried to recall. Everyone had already left him. Once again, this slows down Vitality. Jiizuke is the only one at the moment trying to get some damage on the turret. Meanwhile, Cabochard is getting close in the bot lane. Let's see if we can actually get something down, because Vitality, they want to get some of these turrets off the map so they can start really pushing deep with the Gnar.
Yeah, he's going to go Mega too, so there's really no option for him to continue poking from range. Immediately has to back off.
It's another turret for G2 then.
Exactly what they want. 4K gold lead. Bit of a fight in the mid lane. Gilius still not scared. Jiizuke trying to get down what damage he can, but Abyssal Mask making it so difficult. The base Magic Pen is decent for him, but hard to play this matchup. Vitality still posturing like they're in control, but they're 4K down. This is a very difficult position to be in.
But let's look at these outer turrets. G2's mid turret is low. G2's bot lane turret is low as well. If Vitality finds a way to get Cabochard to the bot lane one and just took it to the mid one, there is a lot of gold to pick up. But before they get that, that's useless. Because right now, it's G2 with the 4K gold lead. We have to look though, when there is a Gangplank, how much of it is sitting on his side. And in this case, it is roughly 1200 gold advantage for Wunder over Cabochard, so that obviously is a fair chunk of it. But you also have to look then at, of course, the AD carries. 1200 in favor of Hjärnan over Kalista, a pick that normally needs to do well early to really have impact in the game.
Very much the early to mid-game champion. Things looking a little bit grim for the side of Vitality. Minitroupax doing what he can to clear the wave. Right now, G2 are in control. They're going to lose a little bit of the push down in mid lane, and for now, they're going to hold on to that mid lane tower, but Jankos not looking to let that happen for long. And this is the controlled style we talked about, we expected from G2. One play at a time, waiting for their ultimate, waiting for those cooldowns. And Vitality, despite being everywhere on the map, despite looking for these opportunities left and right, have just not been able to find them, have not been able to find an opening versus G2.
They simply could not go for kills against all the defensive options with G2's comp. Mid lane turret, dropping very low.
Looks like it will get taken down. Gangplank are going to do a lot of damage. They're now pulling back. GP ult is there. Jankos looking for the follow-up engage, getting pulled right back out and thrown right back in. Hjärnan taking down Gilius. Tower and a kill to round it out.
Another turret, another kill for G2 Esports. 5K gold lead at 24 minutes. Cabochard moved in to join the team. Did not try and take the bot lane turret. While they do get to push it back out. Let's see if they can get anything for this, because G2 will just go back, get their wards, return to the map, and start playing around the Baron.
Oh, and Deficio, the Gangplank just keeps getting scarier. The Tristana just keeps getting scarier. Kalista's hit that 2-item threshold. This is when she's strongest relative to other champions. But she's hitting it at the same time. Hjärnan's hitting his 2. He's well on the way to 3. He's finished 3 items.
Still, bot lane, where we have the 2 top laners, Cabochard on the Gnar against the Gangplank from Wunder. It is even in terms of items, but Vitality's top laner, with the range advantage, needs to get down this turret. He has to respect the potential Galio ulti, but now he does have a bit of time. If he knows where PerkZ is, he can go for the turret. Then the mini wave dies because it's Gangplank. Oh, just give Cabochard like 2 seconds to get a turret for his team. He seems to be the main way for them to get some gold.
I mean, he needs it. They need the advantage to pull back. Wunder's not going to give it to him. He's so content. He sits here, pushes out the wave, fights back. When the team needs him, he ults, he roams up. He's exactly where he needs to be. It's not the flashiest style of top lane play, Deficio, but it is so effective.
It really is. And G2 now, can they do what Misfits did last game? The slow control around Baron, where you control ward up the Baron River, push a bit into the enemy jungle. If you can't get all the way in, reset, go back to base, restock on wards, go back and make the same play, keep the advantage. For now, there is a ward placed on Vitality's side, just outside the Baron pit. We'll buy them a little bit of time, but the rest of G2 are making sure they take their sweet time. Hjärnan's doing Raptors, gotta increase that farm a little bit. PerkZ pushes out top, and right now,
I mean,
Vitality can't push anything.
well, are they really under pressure to make a play, Deficio? We talked about... Yeah, G2.
No. Give them another 20 minutes. Let him farm. Don't risk Gilius stealing a Baron. Don't risk Vitality getting a great engage because one of your members are caught out of position. Then you're fine.
Instead, Jankos is going to look for engage, try to find an opportunity. Gilius with a quick flash out. Ulti traded for some summoner spells. Bit of a fire back. Minitroupax, though, may find an opportunity on it with Wadid. Not going to happen in the end. Good damage comes in from the GP barrel. Luckily, no IE there yet for Wunder, though. Means Minitroupax still going to walk out with his life.
We have the Mountain Drake alive. Gilius had to use the flash, but otherwise all the ultis are available for Vitality. Don't think they can fight the Drake, so they're stepping it. They're moving towards Baron. They're probably just going to kill control wards, but they do have Kalista if they want to start it.
They have Kalista.
It's too risky. It's too risky.
It's guaranteed to steal against the Smite if they cannot CC the Kalista, but I don't think they have the damage yet to burn it down.
Oh, Jiizuke, that's
playing on the edge. Hjärnan can't lean forward, and he's going to look for it immediately with the rocket jump in. Jankos going to body block the ultimate coming on the backside from Jiizuke. No hesitation from Hjärnan. Follows back to look for the kill. He's going to get one, not going to get two as PerkZ takes it away, but he will find the double in the end.
Vitality tried to go in and kill the Vision, then back out, but then G2 showed up with 5 members, and they instantly engaged. They know they're super strong. They're heading gold. The Tristana's hit 3 items. Hjärnan, he's angry.
8-0 Deficio, 6k gold. It's going to grow even more as the Baron falls. No hesitation on the engages coming in from G2. 51.5 to 43.1. G2 are dominating.
The controlled early game from G2 paid off. And now when they're this far ahead, they can keep looking for fights. Jankos blocks the ulti from Sejuani, and Hjärnan goes toe-to-toe against Minitroupax. He wins it, of course, on the Tristana. Great slingshot again from Jankos on this Zac. We got to keep highlighting that because he's always landing at the right spot, and he's been part of every single kill together with PerkZ.
It's a good look for the team.
And a tower refuses to die.
Coordination, no towers. 2 dragons. Stopping them from getting perfect gamed on the side of Vitality. That is it thus far. Can they find more opportunities to strike back?
Well, you have Zoe. She needs time to sit and poke. That's the way she adds a lot of value in the late game. When you're behind, you don't get that time. Because your turret is under pressure. You might get engaged on by Jankos, who's playing almost perfectly on the Zac. That makes it really hard for Jiizuke to do much in the game. The bot lane, they had lost some of these important fights. They had to use summoners and lost the Falling Drake fight, and ever since that happened, the Kalista never got back in the game.
And the thing is, there's not a whole ton of good wave clear options here for Vitality either. They don't have the luxury of a scaling control mage to stop this from happening, so Jankos can just run right in. Good use of the Black Shield, unstoppable, right back out, just trying to zone him off the tower. Cabo looking for the ball, but he's going to connect on 2. Can they start to turn it around? Minitroupax has been zoned out by the GP and Wunder. No fear running forward, but is it going to cost him his life back? That's the double coming in from PerkZ. G2 are running in. They're looking for blood. They do so much damage, and they do not hesitate to take what is theirs.
And Jankos, he knows, by jumping in, using his ult, the team will have enough time to kill that turret. 29 minutes in, they take the first inhib, using that first Baron buff to gain an even bigger advantage for the team. Only the tier 2 turret in top lane is standing outside of the base for Vitality. They're pushed all the way back near the inhibs, and they can't win fights. They're simply too weak. There's not enough damage on their side.
And it's just not comfortable. Minitroupax doesn't have the time to sit out there and consistently deal damage. Jiizuke cannot get through this beefy front line to hit the squishy back. Wunder not going to connect on the barrels. That is going to be a brief respite for the team, but G2 no hesitation. Jankos leaps in, rinse and repeat for them. Just going to break yet another in-him tower. Trying to find a kill back onto Jankos. Minitroupax so far uncontested. Maybe they can get a little bit back here, but Gilius takes so much back. PerkZ now dominating. Woo! So, bit of an awkward time for a pause, but I think at this point, Deficio, things look a little grim for Vitality. So maybe this pause is a chance for them to reset their mental.
Just a little bit.
Come together.
They're down 11-0 in kills. 8 towers to 0. This is a team who's been getting early advantages in a lot of the games so far. This is a team who had a draft, but had top lane pushing, bot lane pushing in their favor. Gilius was active early game on the Sejuani, but they couldn't find a turret. They couldn't find a tower dive due to Galio, due to GP. And when they couldn't actually push down one of their winning lanes, one bad fight, and G2 picked up multiple kills at Drake and just snowballed out of control.
All it took was one good fight for them to get back in control. They had scaling in their favor. We saw Vitality taking small advantages. Not enough. Of course, as an update, Gilius has reported FPS issues. League officials are currently investigating into that issue. So for now, we will continue to talk about it. And I gotta say, on the one hand, you know, Vitality, they tried stuff. They tried so much to get ahead. They got a couple dragons. But on the other hand, shout outs to G2 in this game because they have nullified all of the early aggression. Jankos was just about always where he needed to be to stop Gilius from making any of those early plays. He was bot side when they were threatening to get dived, to be taken down by the Kalista Morgana combo. And he was mid to kill Jiizuke, and in what I don't think Vitality expected at all. They did not think there was a Zac in that brush, and it was just such a quick turnaround.
Yeah, it's been almost a perfect performance from Jankos on the Zac here. Of course, also PerkZ on the Galio. Together with Jankos, these two guys showing a ton of synergy. And when G2 can successfully play around mid, they tend to also generate big advantages, just like Vitality, which is why the Jiizuke versus PerkZ matchup and the Gilius versus Hjärnan matchup, against Jankos, was such an important part of this setup, of this game. And we have to say, Jankos and PerkZ, they won. So far, at least.
Yeah.
It's 11-0.
Well, when we heard from the desk, right? We heard from Hussein Muzi, a.k.a. The Moose, that it's all about execution. And right now, G2 is the team that is executing better. And unfortunately, this is not a game where they get a reset. This is a best of one. You do not get any second chances when you play an early game composition or a composition where your lanes win early and you suddenly fall behind.
Yeah, we're watching a team that is 7-1 in the EU LCS. Only lost to Misfits so far. Take on G2 in this battle here to show who truly is the best team in Europe, based on a best of one. And in this game, it's clearly G2 eSports. We have seen Vitality stall, show some great comebacks. We had the TP play from Minitroupax last week.
Let's be clear how dire this is.
I am not saying this will happen this game. I'm just saying we have in the past seen them be far down and then try and get back. But they don't have that kind of comeback potential here. There's no backdoor that can happen because they haven't even taken a tower.
No options. Well, let's take a look at the most recent replay. We can see exactly how far ahead G2 are, see exactly what went down, how we got to this point in the game.
Yeah, this is just Jankos using the zoning of Zac, knowing that his team with the Tristana can easily kill the turret if he just buys a bit of time. Nobody from Vitality can easily engage here. And when Cabochard jumps in, it's on to Galio and it's on to Alistar. Not the two targets he's actually looking for, but it's kind of impossible for Cabochard to find a good opening there. And at this point, because you can't kill the front line and you can't get to the back line, it's almost impossible for you to win a fight on the side of Vitality.
And it's... Zoe always feels so good when she's ahead or in an even game, but in these situations, you're just wishing you had an Orianna. You're just wishing you had an Azir, something to clear the wave, something to help you hold on, something to stop a Zac from leaping face first into your team.
I'm not sure at this point anything would help. We just got to give a lot of credit to how G2 have been playing the early game and now how they're snowballing this lead. Didn't have any issues grabbing a Baron either after we had the fight around the mid lane. And Vitality, getting knocked down a little bit. We have to remember this is just potentially one extra loss, so they end 7-2 if they lose this.
I mean, don't get me wrong, still an insane start for Vitality.
That's still a great
rookies.
start. There's plenty of time. This is one game.
But the thing we always ask when we talk about Vitality, we've heard from them, we've heard from the team, pretty much everyone talks about it. This is a team that feels so much about confidence. Confidence to make those big plays, confidence to make those risky decisions. And does that start to falter when you lose to both G2, when you lose to Misfits as well, when you can't execute those early games that used to be so effective for you in every single game you played?
It all depends on what happens in the next game they play. Because if they just bounce back tomorrow, win another game, great week of scrims, the confidence is right back. Yes, it sucks for them. They might lose this one game, but they're already looking at playoffs now. That's, of course, the next big goal for these guys, so they can't get knocked down by this one game, and I don't think they will.
And they look good. And we talked to Yamato about it when we had him on the podcast a few weeks ago. He said it's not about a single loss. These rookies are so hungry that even if they lose, they just come back fighting harder. What went wrong? How do we get better? How do we make sure that that never happens again? And so it has to be something that you hope that they're going to learn from. For now, you can see the players on stage waiting to get back into the game in the middle of a tense late game team fight. Definitely a difficult situation for both sides, even G2 who are feeling so confident. Although you can see mostly smiles on the faces.
Tends to happen when you're this far ahead. You played so well in the game. Hjärnan as well on the Tristana.
Has not died, as no one on G2 has died yet, so it's a good look.
Great comment.
I mean, look, man.
Didn't even lose his bot lane tower yet.
I realized after saying, hey, he didn't die, like, oh, yeah, well, no one's died, so not quite as significant as I thought it might be. But, of course, while league officials investigate the problem, reported by Gilius, let's head on over to the analyst desk for a look at the game so far.
Thank you very much, guys. I know it is incredibly, well, anticlimactic to go into a break before the game was actually, it looked like, about to end. Unfortunately, we ran into some issues. League officials have confirmed the issue that Gilius reported in a team fight and are in the process of chrono breaking the game to a dead ball state before the team fight. So the big question is this one team fight or any big team fight possible to turn the game around for them? Or
no, I think they should chrono break a bit further back.
Like way back. Like let's wind back all the way to the
Obviously, we're not implying that Gilius would do this on purpose. Obviously, it's very unfortunate that they have to replay the moments.
We're effectively just rewinding the game a little bit. We'll be going back to, I believe, just a little bit before the issues did occur. But you're still in the situation where G2 have effectively nearly perfect gamed Vitality, our current #1 team, and
so
it has been
let's talk about
such
that
a
in itself.
win.
Like, how much of a surprise is it that I think G2 wins? All the analysts had predicted them to win, but in this fashion, it's quite a shock.
Oh, the good ones.
So how much of a shock is this?
Yes, I mean, so I think it is a shock to many, given the play style of Vitality, in the sense that they are a very proactive team that likes to get early game leads. You look at the draft initially and you think, oh, they're going for things like Kalista, they're getting themselves Gnar, they're drafting themselves winning lanes very early on. And you think, this is the Vitality style, this is what they've won a lot of games with in the past. You've got Jiizuke and one of his most known champions in the form of a Zoe, and everyone's like, this is great. However, we identified some issues that have really mitigated and limited their early game snowballing power.
Yeah, I kind of feel like they set themselves up for too much of a hill to climb, because, like, sure, they have winning lanes, but they have to win them so extremely hard to actually, like, do something in the game. So, like, for them to actually run the Gnar in the first rotation as they did, like against the Gangplank, if you want to counter big Gangplank, you can do it later. It doesn't have to be there. You actually have to pick up something that inhibits the Kalista. And the enemy has Galio, the enemy has Alistar. Kalista is useless.
So all these things come out and are also things that you guys named as the picks and bans were coming out. However, there was no definitive voice, also not from you, I think. Vedis, you just said, well, I'm going to keep to my predictions because I think it's going to be hard for them. But there was no, they're going to get absolutely crushed because of this composition. So in that, I think G2 is still surpassing our expectations.
I admit that what I was expecting in this game was much more of a scaling style, like team fight focused play from the side of G2, given that, yes, you can look to play on side lanes, and yes, they could look to be proactive in terms of the early game, but when you have things like a Kalista and a Gnar, and you have these winning matchups, especially with a champion like Zoe, it becomes much harder to set up those kind of invades. So I wasn't expecting necessarily a huge amount of proactivity, but then I had a chat with Amazing, and it made me realize, like, it's actually really difficult to force things against this kind of a comp. And Vitality's whole game plan of let's build early leads, let's rely and play around our strong lanes gets heavily mitigated. Oh, you want to gank bot? Well, tough luck. Galio's there. Gangplank ult is there. Oh, you want to try and gank the Gangplank? Oh, well, tough luck. There's a Galio there. He also has Zhonya's he can stall, right? There are so many answers for G2. They literally just have to wait to a point where they're now stronger, and now you're just seeing this composition from Vitality kind of fall apart and unfold, and they don't really have any other answers.
Do you feel for a team like G2, who is more known for playing the game, so to say, correctly, when they saw this draft coming out for Vitality, that is also something they possibly identified very early on and saw, well, hey, if we just do X, Y, and Z, we should win this game?
Yeah, it seems like it, because they bent two supports in the first rotation, then they bent another 2 supports in the next rotation, and they just thought, hey, Kalista has nothing to play with. Like, so for us, it's just about playing the game right, and we're going to win because we have the better comp.
And we heard from PerkZ last week say that he thinks right now the gap between European teams and, say, Korean teams in terms of what good League of Legends is because many European teams come into a game without a proper game plan, an idea of how to execute on the list of available options that they have. And something that G2 are very evidently working towards is coming in with a clear game plan, understanding what their responsibility is based on the composition they have, and then executing upon it. And I think this is a great example, this week especially, of coming in, we know exactly what we want to do, we know their strength, we know our strength, we'll play around it, and we'll secure ourselves a very convincing win.
And on the other side, it is also what we've heard has been criticism, and also out of the mouth of Jankos about Vitality. I don't like the way they win. You know, it's not a solid way to win games. And obviously you can say, well, as long as they keep winning, who cares? But obviously when they suffer a loss like this, this might turn into a change of strategy rather than a change of tactic for Vitality going forward.
Yeah, it could be. I think they're going to look into building more safe and sound comps, because honestly, if you lose to a team like G2 in this kind of manner, like, this is something that's going to keep happening going forward, because G2 is a team that plays like that. Then you have Rocket, that is a team that plays like that. And other teams are going to copy the top teams or the teams that are on the rise. So more teams are going to copy whatever the top team at that point does. And then maybe G2 at this point.
I'm going to cut you off because I hear that the players are ready and we want to see how this game plays out. So casters, take it away.
Thank you very much, Shox. We are getting back in the game. To remind people, Gilius experienced some FPS drops as they were getting dove under their top lane inhibitor. We've chrono break the game, which means we basically just backed it up a little bit to what officials call a dead ball state. Essentially, no one is doing anything, presumably before they started diving Vitality
Before
into the
Zach
tower.
flies in.
So presumably he's not charging either. We're going to find out. You're going to find out with us. It's going to be a joyous experience. And I'm going to guess, Deficio, master analyst that I am, that they might still dive the tower despite us rewinding the game.
Yeah, I mean, Jankos not even aiming for kills when he's doing it. He actually dives in to just make sure Hjärnan can kill the turret. So, well, let's see. Once we get back into the game, and wait,
hey, tower is gone. This time, Jankos didn't even have to leap in. They just walked away.
So there was one kill that happened after this that G2 are currently not sitting with. That's why it's 10-0, not 11 in this case. But now they still got the turret down. They have already killed the mid inhib from before, when they made the exact same play we just had here. Gilius, can he do anything?
Nope. 13K gold deficit 30 minutes in. 10-0 kills in favor of G2. They're even on Dragons. G2 actually happy to have the mountain in this instance. That lets them break the base even faster. And at this point, it is the clean closeout G2 are looking for.
There is a big minion wave bot lane. Can that minion wave finally kill a tower for Vitality? Wunder's on his way. He's running very fast. Let's see that bot lane minion wave instead of these supports running around. Wunder's on his way. He will get there in time, Drakos. I believe
no
this
towers
turret
will die.
Will simply not die. That big wave could have done it, and they died.
Oh, oh GP.
No turrets for Vitality.
No, not going to work out. And of course, interestingly enough, despite G2 and Vitality both being very good teams, very close to the top of the table, Vitality at the top of the table, in their case, neither of these teams have actually had a zero-death game yet this season. So if G2 win here, they have done something that not even Vitality could do.
Let's see. We're kind of waiting for G2 to make the same play where Jankos flies in behind the turret and zones them off. And then Hjärnan kills the turret in about 2 seconds. Yeah, now you don't have to do that.
Health left.
Now you can just kill it.
They're walking it down, folks. It's not a lot else to say at this moment.
It's just domination from G2 eSports. 4-time European champions, replace 4 members, and then coming into the split, after the rough start, they just look so good now, so clean in this game.
And we talked about the top side of the map stepping up. PerkZ always been a rock for the team. Wunder on the GP consistent as well. Jankos lackluster in the first couple of weeks, but looking better and better and better and better with PerkZ specifically.
Yeah.
But now even their bot lane is performing so well. Hjärnan and Wadid back on these aggressive champions that they like to play. Jankos zones off. Third inhibitor falls. 6K Baron power play. Doing everything they can to hold on. Those barrels are a death sentence, so they have to do their best to watch out.
Third inhib going down. Who can do anything on the side of Vitality? They need a great engage from a Sejuani. They need Jacktroll flying in, hitting Hjärnan, but they can't get to him. And Jankos, he's going in.
Wants to get a little bit more. How many members can he hit? He only manages to hit one. Jankos is now on the tree combo. He's going to give up his life in exchange for nothing. Desperate plays coming in now. Jiizuke having to flash away from just a single barrel from Wunder. This could be it, the last chance, the last dance here for Vitality. See what they can get back in return.
Well, we got super minions in the mid lane right now. Some other minions coming bot lane. And G2 with this Tristana. Kill this turret so quickly. No ulti from Gilius. They're going in again.
Trying to break it down, just trying to zone them off. They're not even worried about the kills at this point. They just want to close out the game. They have the tools to do so. Hjärnan is relentless, pushing down the towers 11-0. I cannot believe my eyes. G2, slow and confident, looking to close out the game here.
They're gonna do it, Drakos. Now they just need to kill that Nexus, maybe get some kills.
Can they get the kill back? Will Jankos fall? Can they stop them from getting the game? It does not look like it. 11-0 closeout for G2. Absolute dominance.
Yeah, what a stomp. After a week of trash talk and banter, G2 eSports show up, win the 5th game in a row, and it's by destroying Vitality. I like the draft. I love the way they played. You couldn't have asked for more if you look at G2 in this game.
Absolutely not. Well on their way to being back at the top of Europe, taking down Vitality here. The other contender they have to keep their eyes out for is Fnatic. Other teams rising as well, but Vitality not quite as easy as it once was for them to keep the top spot in Europe.
A big game from Jankos. Called, and I quote, one of the worst performing junglers in the EU LCS by Gilius. Then played one of the best Zac games we have seen in Europe in a very, very long time.
The best Zac game of this season, hands down.
For sure. What a monster performance.
He earned those high fives, let there be no doubt. And all across the board, G2 looking good. And you can see how terrifying this team is when they play as a team. Not when individuals are making mistakes, when they're all on the same page, how brutally effective they are.
Oh, he's so happy. And he deserves it. I did see the Vitality members during the pause. They were smiles and laughing. They did not look like a team that was by any means completely tilted or anything. I think they're going to be fine. They're going to learn from this. They're going to bounce back tomorrow and show why they're sitting still as the #1 team in Europe in the standings. But this game, man, yeah, they got destroyed.
There's no jumping around it. That's exactly what happened. And now you have to wonder if teams are going to start thinking about giving Wunder a Gangplank.
Yeah, Gangplank for Wunder, Zac for Jankos. 2 picks you definitely have to look at and say, not really sure I want to give that to G2.
Yeah, and it wasn't just the strength of the pick for Jankos. It was also just positioning around the map. He was always there, engaged, and of course, Elastic Slingshot. It's a big part of those consistent engages, but overall, it was really just a good look.
It was a very, very good look from all the G2 members. Great to see Wadid and Hjärnan bounce back after a rough week 4 on their side. And again, on the Vitality side, like they wanted to snowball early game. Yep. The moment that backfired, they didn't have a way back in the game. Their comp, once they fell behind, couldn't really win team fights. They couldn't win the split push either, other than the Gnar kind of slowly pushing the side lane. And you don't need slow there. You need fast, very fast.
And eventually, GP gets the wave clear. It all starts to fall apart.
So once the early game comp there, once it didn't snowball, it just meant they couldn't win the game as long as G2 did not make any mistakes, and they played perfectly.
Did not. Well, it's always hard when nobody dies to narrow it down to potential contestants for who's going to be player of the game, but we've narrowed it down to Wadid, Jankos, and PerkZ. You can head on over to @LO Esports on Twitter and give us your vote. I feel like Wunder deserves some praise too. It's hard. Wadid also with the Alistar engages, PerkZ with the follow-up.
I'm personally going Jankos.
I think it's absolutely Jankos.
I saw the engages. It's all I want to see from a Zac, and he delivered.
Yeah, exactly. And I can see now we're getting ready. And now it is indeed time. Let's send it over to Medic and hear from G2's mid laner.
Thank you very much, Drakos. I am here with the winner and the mid lane king once again. It's PerkZ. How did it feel taking down Jiizuke?
It felt, I mean, fine, yeah. We won, so I'm happy, yeah.
Okay, so it's more about the team winning than about you winning that individual matchup.
No, I really couldn't care less.
Okay, that's good to hear. Vitality was 7-1 coming in. Both of you and they were on a 4-game winning spree. You're now undefeated in the last 5 games. Do you think G2 have turned a corner now?
Well, this is like something we've been working towards for the last, I don't know, 5-6 weeks. So it's I'm super happy to see that our improvements, like what we've been like destroying our bad habits from before and putting new good habits and just working more, communicating more as a team in game and outside the game, so we can like help each other improve. And it's just nice to see like the fruits of the labor coming through. So yeah, I'm very excited to how the future holds for us, because I think we have potential to be good and we have like a lot to go on. Yeah.
So you talk about destroying the old habits that you're trying to get rid of. As sort of the single member remaining on G2, was it about people adapting to your playstyle and G2's playstyle, or was it you adapting to the way that your team wanted to play as well?
Well, it's mostly I try to make my team play the way we played before, and they all want to play the best way possible. So we are like working well together, and me adapting in terms of like communication and how should I communicate and like play with my team as well, because it's different compared to last year. I have like some different jobs in game, but yeah, overall it's going well. So yeah, I'm just happy.
So what are your different jobs now? How have things changed for you from last year to this year?
Well, last year, I guess in scrims I was just more of like having fun, I would say. I mean, I was trying, but I was like having more fun. I was more of like a clown, I guess. And now I'm just trying to give my 200% energy in every scrim I play, and like scrim review and stuff. So that's like the most important part for me. On stage is like almost same, so like nothing changes, but it's mostly like how I work and how I approach the game. And yeah, I just put pressure on myself to perform.
Well, you seem to be performing quite well at the moment. Congratulations again on the win. I hope the second half of the split goes just as well for you guys. We're going to hand it across to a quick break, but we'll be right back after this.
Okay, guys, I will warm up for exactly 1 minute now. This will be enough. Let's go, guys.
Oh, they're dragging another. Oh, good engage. Nice side step. PerkZ, of course, does have the ultimate available now with Black Shield going to block the majority of the CC a little bit more. Will connect. Hjärnan leaves in. PerkZ there for the cleanup. That's going to be 2. G2 with the explosive bite. Down, Gangplank going to do a lot of damage. They're now pulling back. GP ult is there. Jankos looking for the follow-up engage, getting pulled right back out and thrown right back in. Hjärnan taking down Gilius, tower, and the kill to round it out. Is going to look for it immediately with the rocket jump in. Jankos going to body block the ultimate coming on the backside from Jiizuke. No hesitation from Hjärnan. Follows back to look for the kill. He's going to get 1, not going to get 2 with PerkZ taking it away, but he will find the double in the end. I'm looking for the follow-up. He's going to connect on 2. Can they start to turn it around? Minitroupax has been zoned out by the GP and Wunder. No fear running forward, but is it going to cost him his life back? That's the double coming in for PerkZ.
Now they just need to kill that Nexus, maybe get some kills.
Can they get the kill back? Will Jankos fall? Can they stop them from getting the game? It does not look like it. 11-0 closeout for G2. Absolute dominance.